What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Week 2 OUA football action. Wade Zanketta, Connor O'Neill here from All Canadian on CFP. We are previewing this week's action. We have the Battle of Waterloo coming up with the Waterloo Warriors and the Laurier Golden Hawks. Carleton kicks off against York. Queens plays Ottawa. And of course, Western will be taking on Guelph, who will be playing their first game of the season in week 2 after a week 1 bye.
And we get 2 U Sports top 10 matchups this week, so that is always good news for the OUA. And let's start with the Battle of Waterloo. We are going to get 2 editions this year, so let's start with the first installment. 2 top 10 teams, as I mentioned. Will we see Trey Ford be contained by this athletic Laurier defense? And what quarterback are we going to be getting from Laurier with Connor Carosello dealing with his shoulder injury?
I have no idea how you try to keep Trey Ford contained. I don't think you do if you're the Laurier defense. I think you more so try to manage him and worry about the Waterloo offense as a whole. Shut down his weapons is kind of the key to shutting down Trey Ford. But one area you need to be conscious of him is the red zone. He had 2 red zone rushing touchdowns last week against Windsor. So you need to focus on his athletic ability when in the scoring zone.
That's a 1 o'clock start in Waterloo. Let's head to the 3 o'clock start. Richardson Stadium, back, filled with fans. Ottawa GGs traveling to Queens, dealing with their tough situation. We hope everyone is doing all right that is involved in that. But the football game will be live on location, 3 p.m., Richardson Stadium. It's going to be a tough match.
It will. Both teams looked very good in their opening week. Obviously, Queens coming away with the win. Ottawa lost a tight one, but they still looked very good. Some young wide receivers helping out Ben Miracle and the GG's offense as they continue to learn under Marcel Belfay. Keenan on the other sideline, James Keenan for Queens, looked very good in his season debut for 2021, the second-year starter. Talk us through this one.
I'm looking at Rashid Tucker, though. He is going to be running left, right, and center. He hits around 70 yards against the Ravens last week. I expect him to get back to his form where he averaged over 100 yards per game in 2019.
And he did so in just 6 games. So excited to see that Queens-Ottawa matchup moving into the next game, staying with the city of Ottawa. The Carleton Ravens will be matching up against the York Lions. Carleton coming off a close loss to Queens last week. York coming off a loss to the Laurier Golden Hawks. Both teams looking for their first win here. Tanner DeYoung, the quarterback for Carleton, up near 300 yards last game. They just couldn't find the end zone.
And for York, it's going to be a matter of containing and limiting their turnovers. They were intercepted 4 times. They had 3 blocked kicks. 2 of those by player of the week, Shamari Hutchinson from the Laurier Golden Hawks. But I think for York, limiting their own mistakes, regardless of the result, is going to be a key for them moving forward this year. So I'd like to see them get a good start to that in week 2.
And Carleton special teams unit will need to be on the top of its game again. Tough return game for those York Lions. Alex Daly, one of the best in the province. Final game of the week, though, the Western Mustangs taking on the Guelph Griffins, who were 6-2 in 2019. Western coming off a huge win over the Marauders in that Yates Cup rematch.
And Guelph coming off their bye week. This will be our first look at the Griffins, who are now without Tavis Robinson, the defensive lineman who transferred down to Ole Miss in 2019 or after the 2019 season, and without Theo Landers, who has moved on from the program. But Western coming in with this rushing attack of Keon Edwards and Trey Humes. I expect them to ride that one to the end of this game as they look to move on to 2-0 and maintain that top spot in the U Sports top 10.
Going to be a lot to handle for the Guelph Griffins. A great rushing attack, like you said, from the Western Mustangs. 3 rushing touchdowns, both backs over 150 yards in week 1. Sure to be a great game. Guelph's going to have to play great, though.
And Clark Barnes, one of the top returners in the country, will be there for the Guelph Griffins. So he will look to have his impact all over this one. But that's it for our week 2 slate. For CF Perspective, I'm Wade Zanketta. That's Connor O'Neill, as always. You guys can, of course, check out all of these games at OUA TV. It's free streaming service that covers all games live and on demand. And if you can't stream, follow along with the box scores at usports.ca, stats, schedules, scores, they're all available there. So enjoy the week 2 slate. Have a good weekend.
And you can absolutely catch us on Sunday with the recap of all the games from Saturday's action. So we will catch you on CFP's YouTube channel on Sunday.